unity in diversity. You cannot do anything if you are not united. And that's why at the country level, at the sub-regional level, at the continental level, we need to be united. So our theme is more local, that we talk about unity in diversity, natural resources benefication. We have to add the value to our natural resources, whether in the land or in the sea. Like now we have the oil and gas which are discovered. We have really two. And then you say youth empowerment. Our focus is to empower our young people. And when we talk about empowering the young people, not just to create jobs for them, but to make them, they should be the job creators. So we must just create an environment for them to be more innovative and then to be in charge of their own natural resources. These natural resources are ours. I don't know why some people want to make a debate. They belong to Namibians. But we know we might not have money to invest. But if you don't have the money, it does not mean this thing does not belong to you. You have to take advantage of you having that critical resources and see how you can balance with the one who's bringing in the money. So he cannot do anything if my resource is not there. So this is what should be the attitude in the whole continent if we have to make progress. So natural resources benefication for youth empowerment and sustainable development. Unless really we make use of our resources, we will not bring about prosperity, which will mean sustainable development. So that is really where I'm seeing Africa. Currently, resources are being discovered. I don't even want to believe they are discovered. They knew. They are just now saying it's here because they wanted them. And we should really be strong enough, not just allow them to come and take.
And united.
We must be united. And our young people, they must really be alert. I know that our young people, they are hungry, they are frustrated, they are desperate, they are starting to lose trust in their governments, and that can be very dangerous for them just to be taken out, to be carried away, and by the time they realize, they are in forever. So that is really, and that's why I believe on intergenerational. And that's why I believe on engagement between generations so that we can live in harmony and make sure that we sustain our future. So I'm seeing Africa, if we are not united, if we are not doing the same things that what we are saying, we will end up to be back under colonial occupation in a different way. And we have to be careful also with the communication technology, the social media. It can easily
false information,
yes,
manipulation,
mental manipulation can be there. It's really, it's so sad. I said I'm not anti technology, but I'm afraid if we did not handle it properly, it can be used to manipulation and then mental colonization, which will then make us to suffer more and forever, because you can't pinpoint that these are occupying my territory.
Exactly.
Like how it was easy for us to identify our colonizer. And then the whole world has to come to our support.
The story of Madam President surpasses political margins. In southwestern Africa, in the village of Onatwemo, in the years of 1950, a strong, energetic, and baby girl child is born. who later on becomes the first ever female president in the history of Namibia. Her name is Netumbo Nandi-Ndait, the number 9th child of his family, who was raised from a low background family. And at the age of 14, Netumbo joins the organization that fights South African apartheid imposed in Namibia at the age of 14, which means she was a lady and she was a woman and a girl who was outstanding from the beginning, from the time she was born. Netumbo Nandi-Ndait later on becomes the president of Namibia, who is the current president of Namibia today. And shockingly, he joins the narrative of Ibrahim Traore, the narrative of securing Africa and securing the minerals and securing the assets and the resources of Africa. The narrative of creating jobs and employment for the youths. The narrative of keeping the minerals in the continent and processing the minerals in the continent. The narrative of freedom. The narrative of revolution. His story surpasses political margins. It's more of a revolutionary. Netumbo Nandi-Ndait is becoming an icon day by day by the moves that she's making, by the decisions that she's making. When you look at how Ibrahim Traore speaks and how Ibrahim Traore brings things, and when you look at how Nandi-Ndait is speaking, you can simply tell there is some kind of similarity between these two people. Because Netumbo Nandi-Ndait, she's one of the female presidents in Africa. In fact, the only one. Because even in Namibia, there has never been a female president. In Kenya, there has never been a female president. I began seeing female presidents in Tanzania, a president who was never even elected. He's just a president who succeeded John Pombe Magufuli. But this one is different. Netumbo comes and makes decisions that many people never expected she can make. She's becoming one of the presidents in Africa who really is doing what African wants. We talk about Julius Malema. Julius Malema is just an opposition leader, he's not a president. We talked about Dr. Arikana. Dr. Arikana was just working in the AU. She has never been a president. We talked about PLO Lumumba. PLO Lumumba is also just a Pan-Africanist. He has never been a president. But we're talking about Netumbo Nandi-Ndait, who is now becoming an icon, who is now becoming an eye in social media, and everybody's looking at her because of the things she's making. Right now, we're sitting down and waiting for Netumbo Nandi-Ndait to speak, because anytime she speaks, she's shaking something. Netumbo Nandi-Ndait says that we must stand strong. We must decide that we are going to make Africa an independent continent. She does not speak about Namibia. She speaks about Africa, just as Ibrahim Traore has always been doing. Let's take a look.
Yeah, first of all, the focus now is on economic diplomacy. Africa as a continent, we have gained our political independence. Of course, we know that Western Sahara is still struggling, but that is an internal issue. Internal issue in the sense that Western Sahara is not under foreign occupation. It's an issue between Western Sahara and Morocco. So therefore, the economic diplomacy is the way forward now. At the time of our independence, we got our independence when the Cold War was coming to an end. As Africa, we have agreed on our instrument, which is the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which is requiring Africans to trade among themselves. And that's why we have to seriously start implementing some of our critical decisions. For example, in SADC, for a long time, we have been talking about value chain. And the value chain is very, very important because you will not make one country or some countries to be dumping places for finished product, but rather you have to stretch it so that through that value chain, every country will have a portion to add, because in so doing, you are creating jobs in all the countries that will be benefiting from that product. And Africa, at one point, has also taken a decision to say that at least to start with, 15 or 20% of Africa raw material should not leave the continent unprocessed. So that's now the issue of value addition. Where I'm seeing now really, if Africa can take its decisions and implement them to the latter, we will be able to fit well in this changing world, which is like moving again to another cycle of a Cold War. It will be focusing on economic. It is not going to be the colonization that we know, but it will be a mental colonization. It will be an real economic colonization that we must try to mitigate one way or the other. A country like Namibia, we accept that our biggest challenge, if you call it a challenge, our biggest problem is the issue of unemployment. And it's not only unique to Namibia. You go to other African countries, it's the same thing. Because why African young people have to rescue their lives on high sea trying to go to Europe? They are basically following their job that we are transporting when we are sending the African raw material to Europe unprocessed. So we need really to work together. And under Agenda 2063, which is Africa's developmental map or mechanism, there is quite a number of demand of economic cooperation among African countries. Now, if we have to take that serious, definitely the Africans will be able to take care of themselves. And it has to start with an individual country. If every country say, I abandon my all activities, I will link all my activities to the Africa Agenda 2063, we'll be able to make good progress. So that is why this year, our theme for election, and that is not just really a mere theme, it's a clear vision. And it has to be a guiding thing.
This is one of the most important things that I really loved and liked about Netumbo. She said, the only place and the only way we can save Africa is by strengthening the youths. Because young people are the pillars of the nation and young people are the pillars of the continent. She talked about unity, that we must come together, unite, because when we are united, we become stronger. But when we are divided, it becomes very easy for the white people, for the white man's supremacy, and for the imperialists, and for the oppressors to take advantage of us. But the moment we are together, stick together, we can be able, and we are able to win this fight. Listen, by taking our minerals out of the country, she said, number one, we are losing jobs because we cannot be able to create, to raise the industrial sector. We cannot be able to build factories. But by keeping our minerals in the country, it means, number one, we are able to build factories to be able to process these minerals. And that means our youths in our nations and in our continent will be able to secure jobs. Therefore, these youths will not be struggling in order to go abroad to get jobs. They will stay in the country because there is jobs and employments in the country. Netumbo Nandi-Ndait said that what is killing Africa is unemployment of the youths, because we have many young people in Africa who are unemployed. At the end of the day, these youths, they end up doing things that are not good because they have nothing to do. As we always know, an empty mind is a devil's workshop. And that is what Netumbo Nandi-Ndait is saying. She said, we must raise our economic diplomatic, because by doing that, we can be able to stand in the eyes, and in Africa, we can be seen in the world that we are actually competing with countries that are referred to be superpowers. I think if we borrow this, because she has borrowed from Ibrahim Traore, I think when she was vying for presidency, she knew, when I get to that place, I will do the same thing I'm seeing the leaders of AES doing. And right now, she's delivering the same way. I feel like I'm falling in love again, and I'm really concerned about Netumbo Nandi-Ndait. She's becoming a woman that we want to see. She's becoming a leader who is an icon, an iconic leader that we want to see in Africa. If other people and other presidents can be able to stand out and be distinct and outstanding, and do like Netumbo Nandi-Ndait is doing, that would be awesome. That would be wonderful. I am the African Streamline. Do let me know what you have to say in the comment section about Netumbo Nandi-Ndait, how she's doing, the way she's making moves. What do you think about her? Do you think she's following the steps of Ibrahim Traore? Do you think she's going to make even other African presidents wake up? Do let me know what you have to say. I'm going to do my best to make sure I read all the comments and give a response where possible. My black brothers from Caribbean, from Africa, and from diaspora, I salute you so much, guys, and I love you so much, guys. As I tell you every day, Africa is home, and anything that concerns Africa concerns me and you as Africans. And therefore, because Africans are black people, anything that concerns black people concerns me and you as black people. I am the African Streamline. Adios, muchachos. Peace.